Since the inception of the first fan convention in 1936, fans everywhere have been gathering together in the name of their subculture to celebrate and connect more closely with each other and the elements or people that inspire their culture. Originally, fan expos and conventions, or more popularly known as cons, were comprised of small niche communities. In the late 1990s and early 2000s, more and more fan conventions began to pop up around the world. They have grown exponentially to the point where certain conventions, like Comic-Con, are international household names. Each year, conventions like WonderCon, Anime Expo, Comikaze, the Star Trek Convention, and Comic-Con grow by the thousands, featuring more cosplaying fans, artists' artwork, professional panels, accessories, and paraphernalia. At Disneyland in Southern California, there are over 13 unofficial days that are planned and executed solely by the fans. Each day is centered on a specific culture of people, such as Bats Day at the Fun Park, which is a day where people who belong to the goth and goth-affiliated cultures come out to the Disneyland parks. Tiki Day, where people who are fond of tiki culture, especially Disney tiki culture or vintage tiki culture, come out to the parks dressed in tiki-inspired attire. Gay Days, where people come out to the park dressed in red t-shirts to show their support for the LGBT community. And Dapper Day, which is the largest and most successful of Disneyland's unofficial days. It is so popular that it happens biannually at the California, Florida, and Paris Disney parks. Started in 2011 by Justin Jorgensen and 100 of his friends.
The first event was spring of 2011, but it started as an idea in my head much earlier than that. I was always a big fan of the Disney parks and Imagineering, and so I was familiar with all of their concept art. And a lot of the older classic concept art would feature these guests, dressed to the level of the park. And I just, thought, as an aside one day, I thought, wouldn't it be funny if we could actually make this come to life?
Since its inception, Dapper Day has grown in number of attendees to over 50,000 people, causing Disneyland to reach maximum capacity in the 2016 Spring Dapper Day soiree. Originally being one day, Dapper Day has grown to host a weekend of events. The Friday night before Dapper Day weekend kicks off the festivities with Folly, a Dapper party usually held in downtown Disney at Jazz Kitchen, with drinks and a live jazz band. On Saturday, the expo opens to early birds, where various vintage and vintage-inspired vendors sell their clothing, accessories, and beauty supplies. Barbers and cosmetologists style people's hair and makeup on the spot. Attendees can even meet and greet with popular personalities or enjoy live performances from dancers and bands, as well as participate in swing dancing lessons. On Sunday, actual Dapper Day, attendees can shop around in the expo or visit the parks to parade around in their Dapper ensembles. Many attendees have professional photo shoots in the parks, or they will meet up with other Dapper friends both in the expo and in the park to hang out in style. What makes Dapper Day so special?
People who are in that 25 to 35 age bracket, we're part of that Disney Renaissance generation where we grew up with The Little Mermaid, Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast, and they were so influential in our upbringing, and especially if you live down here where Disney is so prominent everywhere, you just never kind of let go of it. So to have an excuse to dress up super fancy and enjoy Disneyland, it's a really wonderful time.
Dapper Day is pretty magical.
I know, everyone dresses up and it's just so exciting to see everyone dressed up and putting that effort and the extra mile to put their outfits together.
It brings together people who are both Disney fans and big fans of vintage.
The whole vintage vibe, it's it kind of permeates every aspect of Dapper Day, from the music played at the expo or the music at Disneyland versus the outfits.
It's a day to kind of not be what I call basic and to kind of step out of the box and do something a little different, maybe push yourself. It's a great day to meet new people and to kind of maybe make some friends and maybe make a change to start dressing up every day.
The simple answer is that fans want a more complete experience, a deeper, more authentic connection to the culture they belong to.
I make clothes myself, and I'm trying to kind of perfect the craft. And so Dapper Day has given me an opportunity to really connect with other creators and expand on my abilities.
It brought me together with certain people because there were other people that were Disney bounding the same character as me, and even though we'd never met them before, they were like, I want to take your picture. What's your phone number? I'll text you our picture. Oh my gosh, it's so great. It was such an interesting way to connect with people.
They have a safe space where they can express themselves and not be judged for the things they like.
One of my fondest memories of a post that Dapper Day has put on Instagram was actually of a gentleman who was wearing this amazing skirt and this gorgeous hat, and it represented inclusivity because it was this very vintage Vogue style shoot, but this modern flair of like the counterculture of gender bending and the idea of fashion as borderless and frontierless and exploring yourself and figuring out the ways that you can express yourself.
I like the creativity when you see some of the people that make their own outfits, that have all, so much skill that goes into it and the time that goes into some of the clothes that people make.
It also puts me in the shoes of a legend in my life, my grandfather. I really cherish the guy, even though I never actually remember meeting him because I was a year old when he passed. But through these photos of him and through these video clips I've seen of him from the 50s and 60s, he's just a cool looking guy dressed damn good. I feel like I'm living in the shoes of a legend. I got to be myself, but in another time.
Dapper Day is taken very seriously in this community. It's like the Oscars or something, where everyone has been preparing, and it's twice a year and they come together. Everyone gets to see each other's outfits. People continue to challenge themselves to make new outfits or make vintage inspired Disney bounds, and I think it's gotten better every year.
Fans have the opportunity to bond and geek out with other people who share the same common interests as them.
I think some people focus more on the outfits, but then once the outfits are done, it's more about socializing and just being able to have an environment where you support one another.
I mean, at Dapper Day, you're never really alone, because even if you go by yourself, someone will take you in.
Yeah, true.
Especially if you match their theme.
Yeah.
It really does matter the people that come, and although there can sometimes be drama and sometimes there's issues, it's much more the reaction you have to one another than it is the actual items of clothing.
It's an opportunity to be able to meet other people that love to do the stuff that you do. That's how I've met most of the friends that I have now, through Dapper Days.
I've really gotten to be friends with a lot of the companies that come, like Match Accessories. Nikoko Creations is my flowers, and she vends at Dapper Days. So if I don't get to see her all year, at least twice a year, I know I'll see her and catch up with her. And it's kind of like a family reunion, so to speak, of everybody that is into the scene.
Aside from the normal social aspects of fan-based events, Dapper Day sets itself apart because of its unique location. Many other fan-based events are held at convention centers, but Dapper Day has an entire Disney resort at its disposal. The sheer amount of amenities that are all located within walking distance from each other make attending Dapper Day a breeze. On Dapper Day in Southern California, attendees have access to a plethora of fully loaded hotels with excellent guest service, pools, delicious eateries, and a permanent convention center. Not to mention, Disneyland Resort has tons of shops and eateries in downtown Disney and 2 full theme parks. Planning an event like Dapper Day at Disneyland means that fans can basically use everything the Disneyland Resort has to offer as a blank template. The convention center can be transformed into an expo, the Jazz Kitchen in downtown Disney becomes a 1940s jazz club, and the parks serve as a turn-of-the-century themed interactive backdrop for fans to take photos or pretend they are in another decade. On top of all that, Disney goes the extra mile to support all of their unofficial days by bringing out certain characters that coincide with the day, such as Villains on Bats Day. They also add more merchandise and treats that match the unofficial day, like rainbow cookies and visitor pins on gay days. Recently, Disney has added themed photo frames such as retro TV or bow tie frames for Dapper Day. For the larger events such as Dapper Day, Disney even offers group discount rates for tickets and hotels, as well as a shuttle that transports attendees to and from their hotel to the expo. Aside from the tangible elements that Disney has to offer, Disney possesses the rare nostalgic, happiest place on earth atmosphere that sets the tone for a delightful fan-based event. Other companies should take notes from the cleverness of the Walt Disney Company. Instead of trying to appropriate these cultural events, Disney allows fans to hack their spaces to fit their needs and supports them along the way, in turn creating a welcoming, symbiotic relationship with their fans.